set up and perfect. All right. So here's the deal. You guys know how this works. You can call in and ask me Social Security disability questions, right? SSDI, SSI benefits. And we go through disability law stuff. And the whole point is you might have a question, you're not sure how to approach it. You can't get a hold of your attorney. You can't get a hold of your non-legal rep. You can't get a hold of the SSA, and you don't know what to do. That's totally fine. Give me a call. You get about 5 to 7 minutes for the call, right? Have your legal question ready. Use a fake name, no story mode. We don't go super deep because I don't know your entire file. So don't expect me to be like, oh, I know on page 43 of, exhibit 5, A, B, whatever, although it's usually F folders. Let's take the first call right now. Here we go. And speaker is on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Booney Lowe. My question is, what is the amount of tolerable instances a person can be tardy before they are deemed unemployable? And I do have a follow-up question as well.
Yeah, sure. Now, when you say tardy, do you mean like late, or do you mean like they flat out missed that day?
Late. I mean late.
So late falls into time off task as opposed to absenteeism. So time off task is usually anything above 10% would equate to, on a regular day, non-employable or work preclusive. And remember, that includes where the person is allowed to have a 15-minute, 30-minute, 15-minute break, or a full hour break, 60 minutes in the middle of the day. So the bottom line is, you would have to be off task for that 8-hour day minus the 60 minutes, so 7-hour day, basically, essentially more than 10% of the remaining 7 hours to be considered work preclusive. And you would have to do it at least more than once. You have to be consistent with doing that. Whereas absenteeism, you miss more than one day a month, you're going to get fired. But of course, the thing that they don't even go into, which they really should, is the no call, no show versus the you called and showed. But anyways, that's not what you're asking. You're asking about essentially time off task. So that would be the answer. Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that answer. Another question I have is, there's a person who has significant documentation that they don't accept supervision, from supervisors, and does not accept criticism or feedback from supervisors.
Sure.
However, the DDS PCs and the AOJs have gone out of their way to frame these problems as problems with the public. Essentially, in some people's view, they know that this person really can't work because they can't deal with supervisors and accept criticism and all that stuff. But as a cop-out in their RFC determinations and all that stuff, in the BDE, in the case of the DDS and the AOJ and their write-up, they go out of their way to frame it as a problem with the public. Mm-hmm. How would you recommend, when someone, obviously has been through the process, but is, at a different, is going through it again, how would you suggest someone get over that barrier of them trying to frame it as just a mere problem with the public versus being able to accept feedback from supervisors, which would be work reclusive, and there's guidance on that. There's something in the palms on that, and it's an RFC type thing. So, how would you recommend someone get over that barrier?
Well, okay. So first off, they're going to do an analysis on bosses, coworkers, friends, family, and the general public. Like, that's what they're going to hit. So, if you're saying they're focusing too much on bosses and coworkers as opposed to the general public, they're still going to hit those no matter what. Now, what you're really getting at is how do you redirect to go ahead and get a finding where you could not be at all around the general public. But what you really want is...
No, that's not quite what I'm saying. I'm sorry if it came off that way. I'm kind of saying the opposite in a way. So there's a person with significant workplace documentation, write-ups, memos, you talk back to us, you disrespect us, you tell us our feedback is this, blah, 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 blah. But when the person has gone through the adjudication process at the DDS and even, a time through the ALJ, some people feel like they know that this person has issues with supervisors and management, and they know, and there's a directive in the POMS, I don't have it in front of me, they know that even according to the POMS, that's work reclusive. So what they try to do is reframe it as a problem with the public. So this person has documentation, hella documentation, problems with managers, so on and so forth. There's little, to be honest, little documentation of problems with the public or even coworkers, but there's hella multiple memos, multiple documents, examples of problems with supervisors. But the SSA know that if they were to acknowledge that the right way, that person would be deemed unemployable, and they don't want to do that because they don't want to do the right thing. They try to characterize it as, if we say we'll limit contact with the public and coworkers, we're covering our butt because we really don't want to say that this person can have little to no contact with supervisors, because if we do that, we know that they should be or would be deemed
vocational allowance. Yeah. Okay, so just summarize for me in one sentence, because you went in a couple of loops there. What is the legal question?
So how would one overcome that barrier? So a person has experienced this more than once already, and it's intuitive to think that where there is an existing record and when another AOJ goes through it or whatever, they'll just kind of do what people have done in the past. They'll just say, yeah, we'll just say you can't have contact with the public, limited contact with coworkers, and that's how we'll cover our butts in trying to cover that there's lots of documentation here that you really don't get along with supervisors. So how would one preemptively overcome that?
All right, I'm gonna put it on you, because you're not good at summarizing. Give me the legal question in one sentence, because this is important for you to be able to address things in front of future adjudicators with the SSA. So in one sentence, what is the legal question? Go ahead.
Okay. When there is significant documentation that a person does not accept supervision, feedback, criticism, so on and so forth, shouldn't that person be deemed to have little to no or be incapable of working with a supervisor, thus that person is unemployable?
Maybe. What's the evidence that you have that the individual can't get along with authority figures?
It's pretty thorough. I think I mentioned it. Extensive write-ups, extensive performance memos, and things of that sort.
Okay, so the write-up said what?
I wish I had it so much early, but there's something to the effect of multiple times you've been disrespectful to leadership, you don't accept feedback, you say feedback's not valid, we've worked on this many, many times, and, there's been no improvement, things like that.
Okay, so is that at one company or multiple companies?
The problems have existed in more than one company, but that extensive documentation, and it's extensive over multiple reporting periods, exists within one company.
Okay, so it's one company. All right, you got to go ahead and be able to answer the questions more directly, because you can't do this in front of an administrative law judge. You have to answer the question, just boom, hit me with the answer. I understand if you want to throw additionals in, but the problem is the judge is going to get frustrated with you if you go in circles with this stuff. So just to summarize the question, you've got a bunch of evidence that says you're not good with authority-based figures. And you're saying they're not, going ahead and basically giving you the credit you deserve to show that you can't work with bosses and coworkers that might have authority over you. So that's leads, supervisors, managers, etc. And then, you're saying, how do I get them to go ahead and promote the idea that I can't follow direction or take instruction from these individuals and, interact with them appropriately. And that comes down to the types of evidence. You can have evidence that basically shows that you are unable to go ahead and complete basic tasks that they've given you, and you have to get repetition with them showing you over and over and over how to complete it. For written things, it's rereading over and over and over. For oral, it's they have to tell you every hour what to do over and over again. It could be, for example, where you are not able to go ahead and operate a machine that you've received instructions on, and you broke the machine, or the machine is now failing, or you're on a line where there's multiple people before and after you and you slow down the line. Could be something where you're written up and the write-up says, hey, this guy is not capable of interacting with others, so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. So, now here's the thing, man. We can do a bigger thing, but we're at 9 minutes and 47 seconds. So the point is, I'm getting a million calls coming in, and we're supposed to do about 7 minutes of this. Call me next week and just summarize down your question, and then have the bullet points of the types of evidence you have, and then I'll help you out with how you can improve the likelihood that they'll actually appreciate and give more weight to that evidence. Because I'm at 10 minutes now, so I got to kind of swap to the next person.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Perfect, sir. Sounds good. I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful night.
Yes, thanks, bye.
Oh, wait. Okay, we're taking the next call. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question?
Yes, I was had a question about getting a settlement from a lawsuit.
Okay.
If I received a settlement from an operation that went bad, can I if I get $20,000 from that settlement, is that going to screw me out of my SSDI that I've been on for 13 years? And if so, can I just not collect that money and tell them to pay all that money towards my whatever I had bankruptcy in 2011?
I got you. So basically, it's not. Yeah, no, I got it. So it's not traditional earnings. So the bottom line is, because it's not a traditional earning, as long as they don't write it in the settlement agreement or whatever the judge finds as some sort of income to you, as long as they put it for what it actually is, then it shouldn't affect you with your SSDI benefits. SSI benefits it would, but SSDI benefits it won't. So you should be okay with that. But just be careful with how they write it up in the settlement agreement, because I've seen people get screwed over where they write it up as some form of income, and then the IRS looks at that and tries to grab it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was advised to put that in a trust and through a company that's Legacy Agency Trust.
Okay. You can.
And they said if I put it in there, then the disability people could approve any amount that I want to take out. I just want to make sure that it doesn't affect my checks coming in, because at least I'm living month to month right now. I don't want to get off my disability insurance and then have to fight to get back on.
You don't need a trust. Look, this is an SSI where you're trying to redirect intent of the exposure of having it. Okay. This is SSDI, man. You're good. I mean, even if they write it up wrong as some form of income, then you're just going to take a hit for a month, and then it becomes a resource the next month. And at that point, they don't count it. Yeah. You could literally have $1 trillion in the bank and be on SSDI benefits. Yeah. So. Okay. Yeah.
I appreciate your help on clearing that up for me. Yeah. I was worried about that when I was getting close to that coming in.
Yeah, no worries.
For like 7 years, and it's finally going to happen. But
yeah, no worries.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Oh, you too. Thank you.
Thank you, good sir. Bye-bye. Yeah. Now, last week or last Tuesday, people were really cranky with me because I didn't, keep rolling through the phone calls. So I'm trying to really crank through the phone calls now. So, okay, so let's see what we got. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot, Disability Resolution PA. How can I help you?
Yes, how you doing, Mr. Waters?
Very good, good sir. How can I help you?
Yeah, my name is John Snow from Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Yeah, just want to ask you about I have my what they call this hearing today.
Okay.
And just about like a 2-minute part of the hearing I want to ask you about.
Sure.
The person that does the jobs, they mentioned 3 jobs that I could do with my disability.
Okay.
But then when my lawyer asked them about my condition, they said that it precludes those jobs. That could be a good sign that I'm being approved, or?
Look, so here's the thing. We as attorneys pick out questions that show that it would be a work preclusive scenario where you couldn't, as a hypothetical individual, actually do the jobs that they presented forward. But the judge can still go the other way and basically, say, hey, this person could still do these jobs. This person could still do this. This person could still do that. So the reality here is this. To be fair, it could go your way, it could not go your way. It just depends on which way the judge is leaning. That's why you have to ask the attorney at the end of the hearing, hey, which way was the judge leaning?
Yeah, he was very polite and very understanding, it seemed like. But this came from the guy who offers the jobs. That says that not offers the job, but mentions the jobs. He said it precludes me from doing those jobs after he mentioned them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I mean, keep in mind, I wasn't in the hearing, but the judge could have asked my multiple hypotheticals. Hypo 1, there could have been jobs that you could do. Hypo 2, some jobs, but not all jobs. Hypo 3, no jobs in the national economy. The judge retains the right to choose any hypothetical, and then the judge basically takes direction from counsel, your attorney, as to potential options that would limit the hypothetical person, but really you, as to what you could do in the vocational marketplace, what the DOT has for jobs. So it could go either way. A lot of people think the moment they hear no jobs available that they've won. That ain't how it works. The judge always usually keeps up hypothetical options, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The judge can choose any one of those.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I just keep my head up and hope for the best. Thank you.
Absolutely, good sir. You have a wonderful night.
It's great talking to you.
You as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Perfect. And I'm trying to keep the calls rolling because I know last time we didn't do that. I just stuck on my. And then the thing was, too, it's because somebody brought up this political thing that was going on. And I didn't go into. I don't usually call politicians directly by name that are kind of like on the outskirts of what's going on with the Social Security bills. And some of them do kill the bills. So, but he did bring that up, and I wanted to. But anyway, here we go. Next caller, speaker is on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes. Hi, Walter. I had a hearing yesterday before an ALJ.
Sure.
I guess it's Friday now, but on Wednesday I had a hearing with an ALJ with my attorney, and I have a question because I had applied for both SSDI and SSI at the time of the application. It's looking like I've been approved. The judge indicated to me and my lawyer and myself at the end of the hearing about it, the approval being step 5.
Good.
Step 5 approval rather than step 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess my lawyer's saying something about there's a 5-month waiting period from when you apply to when for the SSDI benefits kick in, but he was saying I should be able to get some kind of back pay from SSI for that 5 months. So I was hoping you could maybe help explain more about that to me.
So imagine you put out your left arm and then you put out your right arm in front of you. The left arm is when you file, and the right arm is when you're found disabled. When you file with your left hand, okay, the first 5 months after you file do not count for back pay benefits for SSDI benefits. But for SSI benefits, the first month after you file doesn't count. So SSDI, 5 months don't count. SSI, only 1 month doesn't count. So there's 4 months there that basically you could get SSI benefits for back pay that aren't available for SSDI benefits. So you get some extra back pay from SSI. Now, what muddles that whole situation up, is if you get an amended alleged onset date to before the date that you filed. Because remember, with SSDI benefits, you can go back those 12 months plus the 5 that don't count. Ergo, you can go back up to 17 months with SSDI benefits before you even file. So imagine with your left hand, you can go back 17 months up to that if the medical evidence provides it, if you don't have earnings right up to that file, when you file for disability benefits. So that can muddle it because then the 5 months get sucked up way before you filed, and then you start getting paid, monthly benefits through when the SSI benefits would normally pay you for the SSDI. But let me ask you this, let me clarify it, because if I give you more specifics on what happened in your case, what did they say? What do you have set as your alleged onset date right now?
So my understanding, my attorney had changed it to April 1st of 2023.
Okay.
That he was saying there was something there about why he had to him and the judge. I know that him and the judge were in pretty heavy communication with each other apparently over my case, because I know they met like right before the hearing. The judge called him, had his assistant bring him back, and then he came back smiling, saying that the judge was seeing things our way, and I had a hard time in the hearing discerning whether the judge was my lawyer or not by the way the hearing went with the judge. It went really well, but I know that they both agreed on that onset date for April 1st, 2023.
When did you file?
April 26th of 2023.
Okay, so same filing month, same gig. So what's going to happen is this: we're going to do some real. What is your SSDI amount supposed to be around the monthly?
I know as of the time I applied. Well, I know that no. As of my statement from 2022, it was $1,029 a month, but that was before any cost of living increases that would have applied since.
All right, so let's do this. Let's say it's just around $1,000 because it's late and my math is, when we get to 12 midnight, my math turns to the pumpkin. So, all right, so
I think it would be more around 1,100 at this time.
It's not going to matter. We're going to do rough cut math. I mean, we're not using any chisels here. We're not using any files. We're using jackhammers. So our math is going to be big calculator buttons. All right, so April. So all right, so you're going to be able to get SSI back pay for let's see, May, June, July, and August. So right there, you get your back pay from SSI, which is still around $943, which is around $1,000 anyway. So it is what it is. Then you're going to switch to SSDI benefit back pay for September, October, November, December 2023. All the way until the month before the month that you were found disabled. So if I were to do some quick shitty math, right, I can tell you what your back pay will likely be around, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So let's say you're decided in December, so 19 months. So what you're going to do is, let me pull up the calculator with the big buttons here. So we got 19. Let's just say it's around 1,000. Hold on. So we're going to do 19 times 1,000 buckaroos. That equals 19,000 times 0.25. So your attorney gets around 4,750. So then we take 1,900 minus 4,750, and that totals, you're going to get around 14,250 buckaroos back pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that really helps. That really helps a lot.
Yeah. Good. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is...
Thank you so much for helping.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. I'm going to swap to the next person, the next caller, because otherwise they yell at me in the chat. They get all over me on this thing. But I don't know if you've seen it.
Thank you so much.
But sounds good. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
Thank you again so much, Walter. You have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the people in the chat section, they get spicy. Very spicy. Oh, my goodness. Here's the next caller. Here we go. Speaker is on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Remember to mute the computer or phone that has the YouTube video so we talk just through this phone call, through the phone system. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Very spicy. Oh, my goodness.
You there?
Yep, I'm here. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I was denied Social Security back in 2005, and I'm 62 now. And at the time, I hurt my back, so I wasn't able to work anymore. And they said that they denied me because I was a vice president at a company, and they said I should be able to get more work. But the fact of it is, it was my father's company. I only got a GED. I didn't graduate high school, so I don't have no high education. And I was wondering if, you said back in June 27th of this year, I think they changed it to where do your work schedule back certain amount of years?
Yeah, they took it from 15 years to 5 years. And so you are receiving benefits now, or you're not?
I'm disability now. I'm getting disability now. Yeah.
Okay, so walk me through what's the legal question? Go ahead.
I wanted to find out, because you said that they changed it where they don't go back as far on your work. Do you think that if I reapplied from after the June 27th, that the only work that I have would be like selling cars, and I don't, for that 5 years experience, I don't really have any experience working, finding another job. You think I'd be able to get approved now for that?
You already are approved, though.
Okay, but for the back years, because this was in 2005, I was wanting to find out if I could get back pay.
Oh, wait a minute. So when were you originally approved?
2019.
So, I mean, you're not going to get extra back pay in 2024. I mean, that's way too down the line. Yeah, that wouldn't fly unless there was like something where the SSA screwed it up. Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this: I'm 62. I got a bad back still. I'm not able to work with my back. I got orthoscopic surgery on both shoulders, both knees, and I can't work.
Sure.
But I've got 18 acres out here, and I want to be able to do stuff on my land. But I hear you say don't rent an excavator and stuff like that, because as they see you, they don't know about doing that. Then you have a chance of losing your disability.
Okay, so here's the thing. That is a huge question. I'm going to try and answer it really quickly. When you are operating an excavator, the excavator will shake the shit out of you because, you're using the bucket to basically grab stuff, pull stuff, dig holes, etc. So if you have a musculoskeletal impairment, it's going to shake the shit out of you. If you, for example, have an excavator, when you drive it, it's like driving a tank, which also shakes the shit out of you. And I know this because I recently purchased a shitty Chinese-made excavator from eBay. And I had to drive it for 4 hours and 15 minutes from the highway where they had to drop it off to my house, and it goes 2 miles per hour. So my entire Saturday went to that little effer of a machine. But anyway, the point is, yeah, man. So here's the deal. What kind of work were you looking to do? Because if you're going to clear land, you can get an excavator, you can get a bucket with a claw, but man, you still gotta chainsaw that shit up. So you might be like, well, I'm just operating, my 2 joysticks and my foot pedals. But to be fair, you still got to get out and chainsaw it and make it into smaller pieces and put them somewhere. So, what's the plan here? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I already had a guy come and cut down all the trees, and he started digging a pond. And all I got to do is I got to burn the piles that he brought out there. And I was going to be actually not an excavator. I got a tractor with a front end loader and a backhoe, and I was going to do that. And basically, it's still all in a pile. So I was just going to be burning the trees that are there. So basically, mostly digging with the tractor, the front loader, and the backhoe.
Man, you digging with a backhoe, basically on a front lift bucket machine, a tractor. That is going to shake the hell out of you. They're going to get a picture of you up on the back of that thing. Because, people don't realize, when they got that thing, you got to like swivel around and hop in the thing. And then you got to, look, if I were an investigator watching you dig a hole to bury the stuff or pick it up and move it to a different location. Because remember, what most people do is they get an excavator, lift it, throw it into the front bucket of a front loader, and then they drive it off and dump it somewhere. So to be fair, you ain't gonna look. All right, what are your top 3 impairments? Hit me with that.
My back, my knees, my shoulders. I also had quadruple bypass, open heart surgery. Had a stent put in. Carotid arteries, both of them scraped. Broken leg. Broken jaw.
So, okay, just to clarify, all the things that would normally keep you from doing tree surgeon work.
Yeah.
I mean, I could not have come up with a better list of impairments that would stop me from, from loading heavy equipment with tree trunks. I mean, you nailed.
Right.
All right, man. Here's what you do. All right, I know what you want to do. You get somebody to go on the blogs, or you ask somebody in the backcountry what one of their kids is doing, and you get them up there and you train them on how to use the machine. And then you sit there in a chair with a walkie-talkie explaining what they need to do once they have the hang of it. That's how you do it. That way you're not the one doing it.
Yeah. Well, see, I have my good days and my bad days. I mean, I have my bad days where I'm in pain and I can't do nothing. And then I have my days where, yeah, I can go out there and do some work into the yard. But, I don't want to go out there and do it and be afraid somebody's going to be taking my disability away,
And you got hire a kid, teach them how to operate the machine, get a walkie-talkie system, buy them off Amazon, make sure they float, because for some reason, whenever you give a walkie-talkie to a helper hand, to somebody who's supposed to be a farm hand, they always drop it in water. I don't know why. I mean, there won't be a barrel in sight, and they will find a puddle. Then that thing will get stuck. And just whatever you do, buy the ones that float. And then basically you just instruct them. Then you just hang out on the side while they're operating. Now, I'm assuming, since it's got backhoe, we're talking about open cab, not closed cab, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually just an old tractor.
Okay. Are we talking Kubota? Me loves Kubota.
Nah, it's a Ford.
Okay. Oh, so it's really old. So it's like, we're talking like 80s, maybe 90s.
60s.
You have a 60s tractor with a front loader and a backhoe from the 60s.
Well, it's got the front loader to go on it. I ain't got it put on there yet, but I don't have the backhoe yet, but I want to get one. I'm thinking about maybe getting a new one.
Man, you are so full of so many things that the SSA would nail your ass to a cross on. So when you buy it and have it shipped from Texas and then delivered, and then you got to drive it. Look, all right, here's the thing. Okay. Obviously it's enough acreage to not make sense to rent it. So you got to buy it, right? That's the reason I had to buy my I bought my cheap Chinese excavator from eBay for $4,200, right? So which is an amazing deal. So, but what I would say is this: how much money do you have to even get the machine to do this? To get a front loader / because remember too, you're never going to be happy with a combo. You get a front loader with a backhoe, you're never going to be happy with that because it screws up your ability to do a lot of the front bucket stuff. And the backhoe is never really that good because it's not a separate machine to do its thing. So how much money you have set aside to actually make the heavy machinery thing work?
Well, I was probably looking, trying to get around 5,000 maybe.
You want to find a front bucket and back blade, a backhoe in one machine for $5,000.
Yeah, they got them on the marketplace.
I mean, what are we talking about? Are we talking about we're not talking Kubota. We're not talking John Deere. We're not talking Yanmar. Are we going to the Chinese field like I did? And are we buying a shit show machine where you can't really buy parts for it? So you gotta Maverick stuff and glue it together. Is that what? Because I know that field. I know it well.
Yeah, I'm buying the older, wore out stuff that I got to repair all the time.
Oh man, you are just when you repair it, please put it in the garage and close the doors. That's all I'm asking. Because when they catch you under there pulling the filters, so
They're gonna get me, huh?
They're gonna write an article about you. That's
And let me ask you this. I'm 62 years old, all right?
Yeah.
So they're going to come looking at me, why would they investigate the guy 62-year-old with all my health problems?
The same way they investigate these other people that I read stories about on the YouTube channel. I mean, I literally pull up the OIG website and read the stories. Man, they got people in their 70s on there. You got to understand, 60 is not that old. Like, people are like, oh, I'm 60 years old. My pinky fell off yesterday, but I got another one. That ain't old. What's old is 80. 80's old. 80's starting to have some problems. 90s, that's up there. You know what I mean? You've traveled over the hill and down the hill. You're coming towards the ski lift at the bottom. You know what I mean? So, look,
Right.
I know what you're doing. I totally get it. I grew up on a farm. I get the machine thing. If it were me, now wait a minute. What are you gonna do with the wood? Like once it's all down, you got to cut it up. What are you gonna do with the wood once you have it? You gonna put it in a hole or?
No, I sold them the trees.
This is a real farmer right here. This is good. This man knows what he's doing. All right. So you got to then put the machines on a trailer, is what you're saying.
No, I sold them the pulpwood. They came and they cut down all the trees and they hauled off all the trees and then they paid me money for the trees.
Yeah.
So I gave him money back to go ahead and pull up some stumps and to go ahead and dig some of the pond out to where I could see where the water's flowing off. So he basically got everything started for me. I just need a really front loader to go in there and dig the hole bigger and make the dam higher. That's all I need.
So what you need is something to make a pond better. That's what this is coming down to.
Right.
Yeah, well, you're not going to do that with a backhoe on a front loader because it's not going to reach far enough. And you're going to need something that can handle muck because muck is heavier than regular sand or dirt. So you're going to need an excavator. How much digging are you going to have to do? You can get this done in 2 days. If you can get it done in 2 days, you go the rental way.
Yeah. Yeah, might be. I wanted to do it, maybe about a 2 or 3 acre pond. So it's probably going to take a while.
Man, 2 or 3 acre pond. Jesus Christ, man, you're gonna be out there a long time. You're gonna need a KX040, KX080. I mean, you're gonna have reach too. And you got some barges out there. Man, what you want to do is big country because you want to fill it with the fish that you. And I get it. But I'm gonna be very straight with you. When you start digging this thing, you're gonna have to make sure it's deep enough. And the only way you're gonna how big is it so far? Like how many feet wide did he dig it out so far?
It's probably about 1/8 of an acre.
And you want to make it 3 acres?
Yeah, but see, the thing of it is, it started up, up probably halfway up the hill, and I got a lot of clay, and it's a big slope. So basically, I got to clear off the topsoil, get down to just clear off the topsoil, get down to the clay, and pile the clay up high enough to where it'll hold the water because it's up, like I say, it's up on a hill. So I'm just building a dam to where it'll stop the water from flowing out.
All right. So here's what I got to do. I got to flip to the next caller, but man, you need depth, right? Because you dig this thing out, it can't be too shallow. The only way you're going to be able to do that is with an excavator. And you need what's called a long reach excavator, or at least a big enough excavator to get out there. And you're going to need a muck bucket as opposed to a standard digging bucket. Although you could probably get away with a standard digging bucket. And remember, every time you pull that stuff out at the end of the day, you better hose that thing down because you're going to make a rusty mess out of it after, the first week. So if you're shooting for 3 acres, what are you going to do with all that dirt? You going to sell the dirt?
That's what I'm going to use for the dam.
Okay.
And I got plenty of other land to where I can just spread it out on my land and build some land up.
But I mean, all right. Well, all right. I'm going to let you, because I got to take more calls. I can already see in the chat section that they're going to beat me up. So let me, let me get to the next caller, but good luck on your yacht size pond. I'm all for it.
I got a 21-foot boat to put in it.
I knew it. That's where this was going. God damn. To make sure that when you build the area for the dock, that you get the pilings deep enough too, because remember, a lot of that's going to move around and settle, and your area right around the edging, you're not going to coquina or concrete base that right away, because you're going to need time to buy the coquina, time to buy the concrete, time to buy the riprap. So make sure wherever you put it that those pilings are deep enough, because a lot of that stuff's going to shift and move. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir, so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we're going to take the next call. Sorry. And that's the thing, too. Like, when people talk about, like, Social Security politics, I don't really get to talk with people about that as much as I'd like to. Because, when I talk to people, too, about it, it tends to be, like, very biased. Like, this is the Republican side, and they only want to talk about that stuff. Or this is the Democrat side, and they only want to talk about that stuff. So, so anyways. And then, of course, country stuff. Let me tell you. Short, quick story until somebody calls in. I bought a shitty little Chinese-made excavator because I needed one, right? And to do stuff. And I was tired of digging holes. Anyway, somebody's calling. It took me 4 hours and 15 minutes to drive it from the highway, which literally takes 3 minutes in a car to drive it to my house. So anyways, here we go with the next caller. Speaker is on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use fake names throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Survival benefits.
Super dupe. What do you want to know about them?
My daughter has 2 children, gets survival benefits. One of them turned 18, and she's still in high school, and Social Security cut her off. The other child still gets survival benefits and probably continue for the rest of her life because she's disabled. I thought she gets cut off at 19 after she's done with high school, but Social Security keeps telling my daughter that no, once she turns 18, she's out.
So the question you're wondering is, does she get to keep benefits if she's still in high school through to 22 under the 22 rule? Okay, so, and this is survivors benefits. Let's see if we can pull up the statute real quick. I can't remember the rule, whether or not they have a specific thing for that. Let's see. No, they only continue. Yeah, it's only till 19. Yeah.
I have another granddaughter in 2016. Her mother died, and she got survival benefits up to 19 because she didn't finish high school. Her year to graduate would be when she turns 19.
In 2 months. 19 and 2 months, yeah.
Yes. And so now we're in 2024. I told my daughter, no, they're not going to cut her off. She's still got 1 more year left of high school. How could they cut her off? Well, she kept being told that she's going to get cut off, and they cut her off.
Well, I mean, she's
still in high school.
And just make sure her age is accurate. I had a claim one time where they swore up and down on a Bible that she was 18, and then it turned out she was past the 19, going into 20, and based on her age, and they just had her age wrong, her birthday's wrong. So, but for, if you're having this issue and she should be able to keep and receive them until 19 and 2 months, I would call the SSA and ask specifically for a manager to review this and then go through the details with them, because she should be able to keep them through 19 and 2 months if she's properly in high school. But remember, a lot of these kids nowadays, they're in high school, then they withdraw from a bunch of classes, and then they're not technically in high school, and then it's a restart thing for this, this grade, blah, blah, blah. So make sure there's none of that funny business going on as well.
Okay, and I have another question. If she got cut off because the other sister, she gets $1,300 a month. The other girl gets $1,300 a month. So the one that they cut off, what happens to her check? Does her younger sister get it also, or no?
Does the younger student get it? I mean, there could be an apportionment of a certain amount to her, but realistically, they should distribute the proper amount to the daughter who they took it away from. But I'm not sure the exact situation of how many kids there are. So, bottom line is they could apportion more to the other kids. But again, I don't know the full family tree.
Okay. Because I know with the other granddaughter in 2016, when the mother was killed in a fatal car accident, and there was 5 children, so they were awarded, Social Security awarded a certain amount, and it was to be divided between all those 5 kids. And then as they turn 18 or 19, they start cutting them off. but it went to the other child that was still there.
Yeah. I mean, they, you get to a certain amount, everybody gets the same amount, but smaller numbers, there's more math movement. But indeed. So I would call the manager and basically speak with them about turning her benefits back on, and then they may have to apportion based off of that. But that would be your direct path. So tomorrow, call that 800 number, get a manager on the phone.
For Social Security.
For the daughter that's now 19, yeah.
Okay, and my other question, I was reading on the website that since my daughter's she's in her 40s now, she does not get any money from survival benefits because she's under 50.
She's too old, yeah.
But her child was severely disabled. She was born with a rare disorder that left her paralyzed from the waist down, and she's been in and out of the hospital all her life, and it's very hard to hold a job and care for her.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't understand why they're not giving her benefits.
Well, she's not adopted by the grandparents, right?
No. That's the first.
Yeah,
That's
so then she's not going to be able to tap the grandparents, for survivor benefits. So this child that's had these congenital issues, how old is she now?
She's 17. She's going to be 18, but...
Yeah, so she's got to file for DACs. Yeah,
she has... Social Security said they're not going to cut her off at all because she's going to need care all her life.
And she's already on benefits, yeah. But make sure she's filed for disabled adult child benefits. Make sure you go file that for her, because a lot of these kids roll through that and they don't get it. So again, disabled adult child benefits application. That's SSA 4 PDF. Yeah.
My other question is, she first
well, here's the thing. I got to keep rolling through these calls because, you know what I mean? I'm only supposed to do one question per thingy. Just call me back on Monday when I go live again, and we should be good to go from there. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, so for people that are basically disabled congenital from childhood, you always want to get that SSA 4 PDF into the field office so you can get filed for your DAC benefits. Here's the next caller real quick. Let's take it. Speaker is on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
My question is, I'll be turning 65 this Thanksgiving.
Yay.
I have a disability attorney.
Okay.
They're actually paralegals. I thought I had an attorney all this time, but I don't.
Okay.
It's been over a year.
Okay.
They don't really communicate with me at all. As far as getting all the paperwork that's necessary for them to compile together to get to the medical review board,
mm-hmm.
They've done none of that. I've had to do all that myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've sent them everything they needed, and they just let it sit there. Long story short, I'm not happy with them at all.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to an old boss of mine who has a friend that worked at Social Security Administration.
Mm-hmm.
She recently retired. She was there 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, had you contacted me before I retired, I could have pushed your case through and got you a decision right away. But what's happening now
mm-hmm.
that I've noticed in the last 20 years and then recently the last 9 years that
mm-hmm.
I've been there, they're hiring a lot of young people.
Super young, straight out of college. Yeah.
Piss poor at work ethics. We have a big quota that we have to meet of so many cases a month to process.
Yes.
And what they do is they just automatically deny them and push them under the table when they've met their quota.
That is correct. That is correct. The piss poor attitude and understanding taxonomies of following rules, elemental analysis. Look, these kids coming out of college, Social Security isn't a job meant for kid just coming out of college. It's too tough. So, but they're shooting for anybody they can find to do the job. So, but anyway, point is that I want to get at, you're 65. Are you getting retirement benefits right now?
Well, this retired lady that worked for the Social Security Administration, she said, "Look, go ahead and call."
But are you getting retirement benefits right now? All right. So bottom line is
told me
this.
to go ahead and do it, and I don't know if I should because I've got a disability claim pending.
How many months have you been waiting? What was your filing date?
For something, it's been almost a year.
Okay, what state are you
Last
in?
year. I'm in Texas.
Okay, give me one moment. Of course, it's the mega state. Let me see if I can find you the phone number real quick. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can find you the specific number for them.
I'm a truth seeker that I just text you on their live, and I want to fire them, and they're pro bono. They don't win, they don't get paid, so there is no fee. You say, well, they have to withdraw representation and all their fees before you can take it.
Yeah, that they have to do that because they're on there to collect a fee if the claim is won. So they got to withdraw for rep and fees. All right, so here's the deal. I need you to call this phone number tomorrow and ask them for who your DDS rep is. The phone number is 877-787-8999. Again, 877-787-8999. Yeah, so there you go. Call them and ask them what your who your DDS rep is and what their extension number is. If you're assigned a DDS rep, then ask them for a status update on where the claim is at and ask them when they are going to schedule your CEMEs, your consultative examination medical expert appointments, your consultative examination medical expert appointments. Once you have that, and you know what's going on with the status of the claim, then you can begin to build the claim based off of what they have, what they like, what they don't like, which is where the attorney comes in to figure out what needs to be done to bolster the evidence. But in your case, you got one of those like non-attorneys, we just take the claim on and sit it, and then if it goes through, cool. If not, we just collect a fee down the line if it goes through. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to figure out, basically where the claim is at, and then you got to figure out what the claim needs. And now you're not really.
It's still pending.
Well,
it's still pending.
Okay,
it's
but
not
still.
In medical review yet.
Okay, but remember, medical review means something different than being assigned a DDS rep. So you got to find out if you've been assigned a DDS rep yet, because when you're in medical review, that means the medical consultant has it. They're working on it, looking at it, and they're figuring out if they're going to send you to a medical expert, which is like the medical consultant, but you see them in person. So, point is, find out if you're even assigned a DDS rep yet. If you're not, then you're in a waiting period.
Have,
you haven't, or
you have, sir.
You have? Okay, yes, cool. So give them a call. Give them a call and say you are ready to go to the CEMEs. And then also ask them if they have all your medical evidence on file. Any medical facilities that aren't in the F folder, let them know what to 827. And that'll at least get you rolling in the right direction. That's not going to get you building the claim to win it, but it'll get you at least in a neutral format where they have the evidence to use and send to the MC, the medical consultant.
And Walter, they have everything. I've already went through it. They have everything they need.
How do you know that? Have you been inside the ERE?
I have called and talked to the actual caseworker assigned to my case, and he's still compiling everything together. He's just a matter of time, and they will send it over to the medical review to make their final decision, is what the caseworker at SSA told me.
So the caseworker, were they with the developmental unit, or were they assigned specifically to your claim?
Assigned specifically to my claim.
All right, so you're assigned, and if you're assigned, then you should be rolling towards them collecting and finalizing all the medical evidence. So sounds like they know where to go get it. Now you got to get to go and see their doctors. So your next question. So my question to you is, when did you speak with them about which facilities you've been to 827 them?
That was 2 months ago.
2 months. So they should have most of those medical records in at this point. So next question is, when did you last talk to them about which medical records they've received via the 827 HIPAAs?
That was 6 months ago.
All right. You need to give them a call, get a status update, because you're at the point, once they have the medical records in and they send you to the CEMEs, you know what I mean? Like, you're running out of time to fix a problem if there is a problem. So go find out where they're at. Then you can always give me a call tomorrow.
I will call you tomorrow because they're not answering me back at all. They're never, it always goes to voicemail.
Sure,
So,
sure. No, I hear you. But sounds good. I will catch you tomorrow. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
thank you, you too.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay, this is the last call of the night. We are live. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hello, Walter.
Yes, good sir.
I've been trying to get a hold of you for a couple of weeks, but I don't know if I should be calling you or somebody else. But anyway, I'm on SSDI, and a friend of mine has some Bitcoin.
Okay.
And it's our Bitcoin, but I want to buy a cold wallet and put it in my name.
Okay.
Is that going to cause me a problem with Social Security?
Okay, so first, remember, a lot of people aren't going to know what a cold wallet is, so you kind of have to explain, what that means. And then the next thing is, are you SSI or SSDI?
I've got the papers here, but as far as my sister told me, she thought it was SSDI.
Okay, so basically, for people who don't know what a cold wallet is, it's either like a chip or a coin or a card or whatever that you can store the Bitcoin on offline. That allows you to basically shove it in your wallet. It's a cold as opposed to a hot or a live, wallet. So it could be a marker, it could be a chip, it could be anything. Just it's a physical thing that holds. It could be a USB stick. All right. So what your question is now? Let me ask you this: this Bitcoin, has it ever been in your name?
No.
No. Okay. With this Bitcoin, when he transfers it to you, is it going to be traceable in this cold wallet in any way to the SSA to see it while you store it on the cold wallet?
As far as I know, they won't have access to it, but I'm not sure about that.
All right. So I guess my point with this situation, the SSA is not going to know, although you're supposed to tell them when you have some sort of income or gains or whatever. That's what they're going to be interested in. What did you buy it at? What is it at now? Did you have any gains? Did you convert it into something that can show gains? It's still a Bitcoin. You haven't sold it. You just transferred it, right?
Yep.
All right. So you could, in theory, do that, put it on a cold wallet. But, at the same time, to be fair, right, the moment you pull it off the cold wallet and sell it so you can buy something else, they're going to see that if it's in your name.
What would happen at that point? I have to pay money back, or?
Well, you might become ineligible because you might earn over SGA with the amount of that Bitcoin's worth. So, if you have earnings coming in from the sale of that Bitcoin, then it could be, and I don't know if you're in the business of selling Bitcoin or if this is like a one-off dealer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a one-off deal, but I'm not planning on touching any of the Bitcoin for a long, long time.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how much more Social Security is going to last, but I'm figuring at some point I'm just going to switch over to Bitcoin.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. I mean, Bitcoin's trading at just under $100,000 per coin at this point, so it's not a bad idea. The U.S. dollar is a shit show, so I mean, the U.S. dollar isn't trustworthy. Fed coin is something they're going to, manipulate by statute and create all these rules about. I'm going the land way, you know what I mean? But Bitcoin's still a safe option. But remember, that cold wallet, there are people who can't access them for some reason, or they get stolen, and then you're effed. You know what I mean? Somebody hacks them. Because remember, the most secure cold wallet that was ever created, there's a company out there that knows how to hack them and open it. So, point is, you better have a nice, very thick metal place to put that thing. Otherwise, somebody might grab it.
I bought into this stuff. Well, let's say a friend of mine bought into it, and for like $30,000.
Yeah.
And I noticed the price is like really climbing now, so I want to do something with it besides just hoping they don't rip me off of the money they're holding for me.
It's skyrocketing right now because Trump is in. You know what I mean? But remember, that's going to wear thin pretty soon. So you got about 2 weeks before that thing starts to go back down. You know, because you're gonna hit a shelf soon, and then you're gonna ride that shelf for a week, maybe 2 weeks, but then it's gonna climb back down to where it was in the 60s. So your whole gig here with the candlestick method is, you know, figure out where this whole thing is gonna go and how fast you have to offload it. And then, of course, you're gonna be wondering, do you offload it in your name or somebody else's name? Now, I can't help you with that because I'm an attorney and I can't do that stuff. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how to hide money. That's wrong. But you know, I think you understand the issues related to this situation. Yeah.
Well, my main thing was if the money just sits in the cold wallet and I don't do nothing with it for years, you're not gonna have a problem with it, right?
Wait,
more likely.
Say it one more time.
If I take that money and stick it in a cold wallet under my name and just leave it there and don't touch it, don't spend nothing, don't buy nothing with it, they won't have any clue it's sitting there, right? Is that right?
I mean, in theory, yeah. But, you know, remember, what's to stop that cold wallet from accessing the internet, which a lot of them do, and then they create a law that says all cold wallets have to validate through the IRS so that they know who, what, when, and where. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So maybe I should just keep it in someone else's name.
I mean, how much do you trust that other person?
Well, pretty good right now, but you know, stuff happens.
You are a wise man. That is exactly what I would say. Yeah.
I've had my own family pull some stuff on me, so.
Yeah, man, that's the kicker. That's the problem. But all right, no worries.
He's not family, so I don't have to worry about him so much.
That's all right. Well, I'm gonna catch you later because I gotta go to bed. I gotta wake up tomorrow morning. It's Friday, and I got work in the morning. But I will catch you later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Thanks for wasting all this time with me.
You got it, good sir. No worries. I'll catch you later. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so with that said, that was the final call. I hope all is well. I will catch you guys a little bit later. Sleep well. Please remember to like and subscribe or become a member. With that said, head over to Disability Resolution on Google or Disability Resolution YouTube. Disability Resolution Florida or Disability Resolution Law Firm. Throw some reviews up there. I always love seeing the stars. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful night. And please remember I go live on Mondays and Thursdays. And if you need to go over a big question or a big situation, mini contract is below with a private session for 1 hour that you can buy into. I will catch you later. You have a wonderful night, and we will go from there. Thank you so much. Sleep well and have fun. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Oh, it won't. Oh, the thing you won't. There we go. Okay, wait. No, it still won't. Hold on. It's not. It's broke. Oh, did it work?